My name is Mark, and I'll be your guide as we go through this introduction to Earth4Energy. Earth4Energy is the #1 source for information, knowledge, and expertise for the do-it-yourself market in building solar and wind-powered systems on a budget. The purpose of Earth4Energy is to help average individuals like you and I explore the opportunities that solar and wind power has to offer. Our videos will be a combination of screen captures and live video. The screen captures will represent technical explanations, examples, formulas, and charts, while the live video will show you how to build a photovoltaic or PV solar panel. We work in the electrical business on a day-to-day basis and are highly specialized in the field. We have a great understanding of solar and wind power and want to help you learn more about it too. Renewable energy is an amazing thing and should be explored from every angle. We look forward to working with you and helping you get involved in DIY renewable energy. We're going to start this introduction to Earth4Energy with some terminology and definitions. This will help you understand the parts of your system when you build it. The first is electricity, which is nothing more than the flow of electrons in an electrical circuit. Then we have the volt, which is the force which causes those electrons to move through the circuit. Amp is the rate at which the electrons flow through the circuit. The amp hour is 1 amp flowing for 1 hour. Watt is a unit of electrical power equivalent to a current of 1 amp under pressure of 1 volt. And the watt hours is what we're really concerned in. It's important to us because all solar panels and PV systems are based on wattage or watt hours, which is an electrical unit of energy. Therefore, wattage is the basis on which the PV systems are sized and designed, whether you want 1 panel or more. This may seem a little confusing at first, however, we'll talk about it more later so you'll completely understand what it all means. Next, I want to briefly touch on electrical fundamentals. First and foremost, safety first. You absolutely have to treat electricity with respect. If you don't, things can get really ugly really quick. But we're going to discuss safety matters and how things can get really messed up if you don't pay attention to safety precautions. In our business or in the electrical trade, we have a phrase, you don't want any arcing and sparking. And we certainly don't want that to happen to your system. But don't worry, we're going to go through all the necessary steps to keep you safe. Then, we're going to talk about different abbreviations and references that are used in various computations or formulas in figuring volt power wattage. Quickly, let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of photovoltaic or PV systems. On the left are some advantages. One of them is reliability and durability. I see that as really impressive because once you create a solar panel and place it in service, there's hardly anything else to do except maybe brush the dust and leaves off from time to time. It doesn't take any fuel to operate, and since there are no moving parts, it doesn't create any sound pollution. Therefore, it's extremely reliable and durable. Most of these panels come with anywhere from a 20 to 25-year warranty from the manufacturer. They're also modular, which means you can start your solar panel collection for your house or your energy needs with 1 panel and add another one and another one. So once you build them, they don't wear out, they don't go away, and you can add to them. Now, one of the disadvantages is the cost of a commercial system. One of the reasons why more and more people are looking into do-it-yourself solar panels is because if you wanted to buy what is called a commercial 3 kW system, a 3,000 watt system, and you're looking at about $22,000. That's a lot of money. Now, there are rebates and incentives from local governments, state and county sources that'll help you defray those costs, but you can see that it's really expensive to pay to have it done, and as a result, more and more people are looking into making their own panels. Next, we're going to go into what the PV system consists of. Well, obviously, it starts off with the basic unit, and that is the cell. Believe it or not, it's made of one of the most common substances on Earth. It's nothing more than sand, which is changed into silicon. The silicon cell has a positive charge on one side and the negative charge on the other, so when the sun strikes it, the release of the electrons is caused, and it's pretty amazing that the sun produces this power. When you join the cells together in a line, this is called a string. You then join multiple strings to create the panel. If you have multiple panels joined together, you'll have an array. There are 2 types of systems that you and I will come in contact with. The first one is the off-grid system. Off-grid systems are used by people who have an RV, a cabin in the mountains, or who want to get away from it all and therefore don't have a source of electricity close to them. However, a more common example, and the more common occurrence, is what is called an on-grid system, or a grid-tied system. On-grid systems are used by people who want to supplement the energy they're buying from their local power company with the energy created from their own solar panel system. Next, we'll go through system sizing, because the first thing you need to do is decide what it is you want to provide power for. You can choose to provide power for just a few lights or to provide for 100% of your power usage. Obviously, the more power you wish to generate, the more panels you'll need in your array. We've included a solar calculator in the members area too, so make sure you check that out when sizing your system. This calculator will show you how much power you need to generate for your particular system. Then we'll go into array sizing. And we'll also talk about batteries, because if you really want to have a system that's viable, you'll need to have some means by which you store power that you created during the daytime. This is where the batteries come in. We'll go through how to buy the batteries and how to hook them up. Our solar calculator will also calculate what size battery bank you need for your particular system. Then we'll go into how to build the solar panel. We're going to take it from the very basic step, the individual solar cells, and we're going to show you how to lay them out, how to connect them with proper tabbing ribbon. And once the cells are all connected, you'll see how to put them inside a frame with a protective covering so you can have it out in the elements. We'll also talk about what happens if it doesn't work when you hook it all up. And that's okay. Sometimes things happen and you'll need to know simple step-by-step troubleshooting methods. Next, we'll talk about charge controllers. A charge controller is really more like a regulator. If you think back of the older model cars, they didn't have alternators. They had generators, which would also have a regulator that would, once the batteries and electrical system in the car was completely satisfied, shut off the power from the generator because they didn't want to overcharge the battery. And that's what the charge controller is doing. So once you get your PV panels working, the energy produced can quickly exceed the charge capacity of the battery. The charge controller will stop feeding power to your batteries. Therefore, the charge controller is basically like a regulator that keeps your system in balance. And we'll show you how to hook it up, how to test it, and common problems and troubleshooting. Some charge controllers will also show you things like how much power your solar panel is producing and what voltage your battery is. We talked about the batteries a moment ago, and technological advances have provided us with some pretty impressive batteries. Currently, the best battery for solar and wind power systems is the deep cycle battery. And this is the battery that you want because you're going to charge it up during the day and offload it or discharge it during the night or when it's cloudy. Deep cycle batteries are needed when constant charging and discharging occurs. We'll also talk about different types of batteries, how to buy and hook up multiple batteries. It's important to know how to hook these multiple batteries because depending on how you have attached them, you're going to determine how much voltage and amperage you can put into your battery bank. And we'll show you how to verify if the batteries are working and, once again, common problems and troubleshooting. One of the things about solar panel systems is that they're very straightforward and simple to troubleshoot and to find out why they're not working. Next, we'll talk about the inverter. An inverter is nothing more than the device that takes the DC power or direct current that's produced by solar panels that you've created after the sun is shown on them and converts it to AC, or alternating current, which is what you and I use on a more common basis, meaning that's what your TV, radio, and fridge run on. We'll talk about how to hook up an off-grid system and on the more common on-grid system. Then we'll give it a complete system test. Once we have it all hooked up, we'll check it and verify proper operation, and then we're going to run an item. We're going to run a TV or a light just to see if everything works properly, because in order to feel the benefits of this energy system you've put together, you'll need to store and use it to drive something. We'll discuss and touch on the wind generator sizing, because the sun doesn't always shine, and depending on what part of the country you live in, or even what part of the world you live in, the sun may only shine 2 or 3 hours a day, or maybe it's 7, 8, or 12 hours per day. However, whenever it's not shining, maybe the wind is blowing. So you can combine the wind generator to produce power just like the solar generator. And because they both produce DC power, they can both supply power to your batteries and allow you to store this energy to be used to operate various appliances and devices. We'll get into how to configure your wind generator, the wind speed, the blade size, etc. We'll actually build one. It's not going to be a very big one, but we'll show you how. We've all seen pictures of the wind turbine farms out in West Texas or in California, but it's not going to be that big because I don't think it'll fit in your backyard. But the principle is the same. The blades spin around, generate power, and then you store that power to use it at a later date. In conclusion, This is the first of several videos from Earth4Energy. Thank you for taking the time to watch this introduction. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun with your DIY project. It's exciting, rewarding, and can save you a lot of money. Please watch the following videos as we get more involved in the different parts of your solar and wind power systems.